Square Cow Countdowns. This is Slash Raptor, and everybody deals with assholes in real life. But as it turns out, lots of characters in games are also assholes. Say, why don't we count down the top 10 biggest assholes in gaming? I think that sounds like a fantastic idea. This list is pretty straightforward. To qualify, the characters just have to be jerks. These are the kind of people that make you want to punch them in the face. But here's the catch. They have to stay that way throughout the entire game. Keep in mind that this list is mostly based on my own personal opinion, which will probably be different from your opinions. If you agree with me, great, tell me about it in the comments. And if you don't agree with me, well then tell me about that too. Just don't be an asshole. Nobody likes assholes, but I would be an asshole if I decided not to rank these assholes, because I did say that I would. Alright, assholes? You ready? Good, then let's do this. Number 10, Superman. Now I know what you might be thinking. How could the Man of Steel make a list about assholes? Well, it's not so much what he does. I mean, he's the ultimate hero of DC Comics. It's more about what he doesn't do, like make a good game. Superman 64 is a crime against humanity and a cardinal sin of a video game. Other than that, he mostly just appears in fighting games like the Injustice franchise or Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. Oh yeah, and there's also Justice League Task Force, where the Man of Tomorrow is rocking a mullet. Ugh. Wait, Blizzard made this game? Is that the Blizzard? Huh. Learn something new every day. Number 9, MyToe. Ocarina of Time is one of the most beloved games of all time, and the main villain in the game, Ganondorf, is a real piece of work, no doubt. However, assholiness is an unfortunate side effect of wanting to take over the world. And then there's MyToe. He's a dick just for the sake of being a dick. He constantly mocks the player and won't allow Link to pass through until certain criteria are met. If I'm 100% truthful, I found that getting past MyToe and seeing that smug look on his face dissolve was actually more satisfying than defeating Ganon. In fact, I'll bet that MyToe hired Ganondorf because he knew that Link would have to leave Kokiri Forest in order to defeat him, which means that MyToe can turn it into his own personal playground. Number 8, Mirek. Mirek claims to be the Dragonborn. There's just one problem. He's dead. In fact, he has been for hundreds of years, until for some unexplained reason he comes back as a ghost and tries to take over the island of Solstheim. Normally this wouldn't be a big deal, considering that Solstheim isn't even part of Skyrim anymore, but you get dragged into it when Mirek learns that you're also a Dragonborn. He starts sending his cultists at you in an attempt to kill you so that he can be the only Dragonborn again. What Mirek doesn't seem to grasp is that in order to be a Dragonborn, you actually have to do the duties of one. This is all news to Mirek, though, because rather than living up to his claims, he just steals the souls of all the dragons you kill, and then taunts you as if he did all the work. Despite how lame the plot of the Dragonborn DLC was, killing Mirek was very satisfying, not just because you earn a boatload of dragon souls, but also because you get to wear his face as a mask. That's what he gets for being such an asshole. Number 7, Blue. Although Silver, the rival from Generation 2, was a much bigger jerk, he learns a lesson by the end of the game and starts treating his Pokemon better. His attitude towards the player also changes, which means that Blue, the rival from Gen 1, is the winner. In Red and Blue, he always picks the Pokemon that's strong against yours, but in Yellow, he gets an Eevee. In both games, he shows up at the most inconvenient times, launching his Pokemon at you with a sneer and a predictably childish taunt. Then, after you've kicked his smarmy ass, he acts like he won and takes off. Even his theme music sounds smarmy. He's domineering, selfish, petty, and frankly the best rival in the Pokemon series to date. Why? Because he's an asshole, now and forever. Number 6, Eddie Raja. This cocky asshole was the guy that hired all the pirates you fight in the first Uncharted game. I'm not sure if that language he's speaking is a real thing, but his accent just makes him sound like even more of an asshole. I particularly loved this scene, and it's perfect for showing Eddie's personality.
Fascinating document, huh? Seems like this Sir Francis was in my line of work.
Don't flatter yourself, Eddie.
Always ready to be enemies, eh? Tell you what, lead me to the gold, and I just might let you live.
Also, he's got a golden gun that he likes to flaunt around. James Bond, anyone? You know, dude, the fact that your gun is gold has no effect whatsoever on how effective it is. You could dip the thing in pudding and it would still kill things. Just so long as you don't get any putty in the barrel of the gun. It might not work as well if that happened. Eddie may be an asshole, but I did still feel kind of bad when he got killed by the Descendants. And not just because he had been reluctantly helping me fight them off. Number 5. Micah Bell. I hated this ugly Quim from the second I saw him. Something about his death metal haircut just touched a nerve. Plus, in this game, you play as an outlaw and all of your allies are assholes. But Micah is such an epic asshole that he stands out from the rest of them by a mile. I hate that you absolutely have to go to Strawberry and talk with him before you can move on to Chapter 3. Whether you rescue him or not, he must escape from jail somehow, since he's technically the main villain of the game. Personally, I thought it would have made more sense if Micah had been tipping off the cops in Pinkertons since Blackwater, since I'm pretty sure that was the first job he ever did with the Vanderlinde gang. It also would have made his treachery that much worse. And while we're on the subject of Red Dead Redemption 2, what the hell kind of last name is Vanderlinde? It's 3 separate words, but you pronounce it like one big word, Vanderlinde. Maybe I'm alone on this, but it just sounds really weird to me. Number 4. Vas Montenegro. I don't really like the Far Cry series that much. I find their open worlds to be very boring, and for some strange reason, I just never really feel like exploring any of them. Maybe it's because no matter which one you're playing, it feels like they just copy and pasted the previous game, gave it a new coat of paint, and then re-released it as a brand new game. What were we talking about again? Oh, yeah, assholes. Vas from Far Cry 3 is a huge asshole. Probably the only parts about the games that I do like are the villains. Even Ubisoft thought Vaz was pretty cool because they slapped his creepy mug all over the place leading up to the release of the game. Even though he isn't technically the main villain, he has so much more stage presence and leaves such a lasting impression on you that he probably should have been the actual big bad. And like I had previously mentioned, he's a complete asshole. Not to his followers though. Surprisingly, he treats them with respect. But to everybody else, he's just a big asshole. Number 3. Kratos. Kratos is such a badass. Most men would run away if this thing roared at them like that. But not Kratos. No, he stares right back at it and doesn't even flinch. Without Kratos, there would be no God of War franchise. Kratos likes to kill people, and he's really good at it too, but most of the time he didn't necessarily have to kill them. But does he care? No, not even a little bit. Because he's an asshole. But not just any asshole. No, Kratos is an asshole who killed himself to bring hope to the world! Except when he did that, he didn't do it because he wanted to bring hope to the world, he did it because he wanted to ruin Athena's plans, so he's still eligible for the list. How exactly did he survive impaling himself with the Blade of Olympus? They never really explained that in the new game. Number 2. Duck Hunt Dog. If you played Duck Hunt, the dog laughed at you. That's all there is to it. No matter how good you are at the game, eventually you'll miss a duck sooner or later, and every single time you missed, you had to endure the laugh. Every single time! Even though that laugh was nothing more than a short digitized sound clip, it was somehow fiendish, insidious, and horrifying. Just hearing it once is enough to drive anyone insane, but he never does it just once. Stop laughing at me! I am your master, you stupid dog! And for the record, I'm also the one holding a gun. Number 1. Gary Smith. After all the research I did for this video, I'm surprised that so few of the lists I found featured Gary Smith from Bully. Just based on Gary's voice actor, you can tell from the get-go that he's an asshole. Maybe not the main antagonist of the game, but definitely an asshole. Starting with Chapter 2, Gary is more or less Jimmy's arch-nemesis, and throughout the rest of the game, Jimmy basically has to deal with all the trouble that Gary stirs up. First he convinces the preppies to turn against Jimmy, then he turns the nerds against Jimmy, and then Gary turns the townies against Jimmy. Yeah, you heard me right. This 15-year-old sociopath turns a whole f***ing town against you. I'm not done though. Afterwards, Gary becomes head boy at Bulworth and gets Jimmy expelled, and then he manages to start a riot on school campus with the 4 cliques openly attacking each other. Dear God. Gary Smith is the biggest asshole in gaming history, and at the end of the game, all that happens to him is he gets expelled. Considering everything he's done, that's like an itty-bitty little spanking. This kid is pure evil and should be locked up. So, that was my list of the top 10 biggest assholes in gaming. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, it would mean a lot to me if you'd consider subscribing to my channel. I mean, I'm not going to be an asshole and, force you to do it, but if you feel like it, I would really appreciate it. There's lots of other tasty stuff on my channel that you can watch. Or if you want to see more Square countdowns, click the card to check out the playlist of all the other ones I've done before. I gotta go, so until next time, peace out.